and then they would sort of pass it on to the flanks really quickly, to either Bacha and Almeida, and from there it was just like England could not like stop the flanks at all. I think that both Bronze and Carter just could not deal, and even the positioning of Greenwood and Williamson, like Greenwood and Williamson kept being dragged out to help out in the flanks, and then there was just nobody in the center to like protect the goal. Like, I, God forbid, Walsh and Stanway drop back and try and hold the back line, but
Yeah.
it just nothing like. I thought that England got it wrong in every way they could have gotten it wrong. The team selection was wrong. The strategy going into the game was wrong. I thought the substitutions and game management was wrong. So, like, I
Yeah.
can't point to a single department in which England did a decent job.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of All About the W. My name is Sky. Ash and I are here to give our review for match day one of the Women's Euros, as well as a quick update on WAFCON and how some of the teams have been doing there. So, Ash, let's get started, shall we? Um, so, what we thought we'd do is give you a quick rundown on all the fixtures and goal scorers, and then go from there. So, Ash, do you want to start us with that?
Yeah. So the fixtures for match day one were Iceland versus Finland, which ended 1-0 to Finland. A goal by Kosula in the 70th minute. Sunan got an assist. Go Spurs. Come on, you Spurs. Switzerland versus Norway, which ended 2-1 to Norway. Recent scored in the 28th minute and for Switzerland, and then Norway came back with two goals. Hegerberg in the 54th minute and Sterler in the 58th minute. Then Belgium versus Italy ended 1-0 to Italy. Caruso scored in the 44th minute. Spain versus Portugal 5-0, total demolition by Spain. Esther scored in the second minute and the 43rd minute. Lopez scored in the 7th minute. Alexia scored in the 41st minute. And then Marta Prieto, I can't pronounce this, scored in the 93rd minute. Then Denmark versus Sweden ended 1-0 to Sweden. Angeldal scored in the 55th minute. Check out our watch along on this game. Germany beat Poland by 2 goals to nil. Uh, Julebrand scored in the 52nd minute. Apparently had a great game. Schuler scored in the 66th minute. Um Wales versus Netherlands ended 3-0 to Netherlands. Miedema scored in the 45th plus 3rd minute. Thank you for the fantasy points, Miedema. Pilova scored in the 48th minute. Ruth scored in the 57th minute. France versus England ended 2-1 to France. Katoto scored in the 36th minute. Baltimore scored in the 39th minute. Walsh scored in the 87th minute. Um, yeah, so those were all of the scores for match day one. It was quite exciting, I think.
Yeah, I don't think there were any shock results per se. I think, except for maybe, I don't know. I personally expected Finland versus Iceland to go a different way, but Finland have proven that they can play like extremely fluid football. Yeah, I've just been very, very impressed with them. And I guess maybe if you want to push it, like a slight shock result is 2-1 to France against England. I, as some of the faithful of this channel might know, that I am fully rooting for France to win, France to win the Euros. But yeah, Ash, let's get started on that France versus England game, shall we? Um, it looks like things went quite wrong for England. I mean, it started like England started pretty strong, right, until that goal that was ruled offside. But since then, like after that, it was just like downhill. Tell us about what happened.
Yeah, I think England started strong because France just hadn't like gotten a hold of the game. Like the France took a little while to settle in the midfield, and the connection between the midfield and the flanks took a little bit to establish. And I think during that time, I think England just looked better than they were. And I would also say Lauren James had a very strong start. And so, as long as she had energy, she kind of kept England ticking. And the minute she lost that energy, I think after the first, say, 15, 20 minutes, she seemed to like flag off. Maybe it's a fitness thing. Uh,
Yeah.
it, it, they did not look as fluid, England. Um, but I must say, like France absolutely like impressed me. I think in this game, they were absolutely phenomenal. I must say the French fullbacks, I think, are just absolutely. I can't. There are no words. They were both just exceptional, like exceptional. Um, like Barsha and Almeida, I feel like they were what kept the team ticking, because like they were the people who were constantly supplying. They were supplying Cascarino and Baltimore on the flanks, but they were also like linking up really well with like Karshwai and Guerrero in the midfield. So you could
Yeah.
see like, so what France would do is like either Jean-Francois, Karshwai or Guerrero, somebody would win the ball in the midfield. I thought Jean-Francois had a quietly good game as well. And then they would sort of pass it on to the flanks really quickly, to either Bacha and Almeida. And from there, it was just like England could not like stop the flanks at all. I think that both Bronze and Carter just could not deal. And even the positioning of Greenwood and Williamson, like Greenwood and Williamson kept being dragged out to help out
Yeah.
in the flanks, and then there was just nobody in the center to like protect the goal. Like, I, God forbid, Walsh and Stanway drop back and try and hold the back line. But
Yeah.
it just nothing like. I thought that England got it wrong in every way they could have gotten it wrong. The team selection was wrong. The strategy going into
Hmm.
the game was wrong. I thought the substitutions and game management was wrong. So, like, I
Yeah.
can't point to a single department in which England did a decent job.
Yeah. Like, how would you think? How would you have gone with like the starting 11? Like, what would you have changed going
So,
into the game?
So first of all, I don't think I think that both, like, I know Walsh scored a spectacular goal. I thought it was an absolutely amazing goal. Um, but I would not have gone with Walsh in the midfield. I think I would have, I
Hmm.
just based on the season she's had, I would possibly have gone for a Clinton in the midfield. Um, uh, Also, like, I also felt like Beth Mead was kind of absent most throughout most of the game. And she hasn't, like, she's had good games and bad games in the season, but she hasn't really clicked this season that well despite Arsenal's
Right.
great form. So I would have just in terms of confidence, perhaps I would have gone with Chloe Kelly. um
Hmm. I
and
think this is where you see like for me, I feel a bit critical of Serena Wiegman, like from time to time. Like for example, leaving a player like Kira Walsh is something she would never do.
Yeah,
And I get it. I think the issue, like from whatever little of the match I did manage to catch, like for me, so the reason why the Stanway Walsh midfield works is because Stanway is somebody who covers a lot of ground, who's just like she goes flying into tackles. She's
yeah,
very energetic. She does all of that, right? And Kira Walsh is like someone who is, I mean, as a DM, I have like, I mean, if for those who follow this channel, I have a lot of criticisms for Walsh as a DM. But I think that what went wrong for England was the fact that Stanway was not quite there yet because she's been injured. And like okay, great, she had a decent game against Jamaica in that friendly, but that is Jamaica, you know,
yeah,
with like a robust, when you're going up against a robust midfield, what like it really exposed the fact that Stanway is not fully fit, but also at the same time, what happens to that English midfield when Stanway is not fully fit, you know?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But,
I mean, to be fair, I didn't think Stanway had a bad game. Like, I don't think she was the biggest problem in that team, like in that 11, because she was doing what was expected of her, which was running and box to box and trying to win the ball back. I don't think.
mm,
I mean, was she amazing? No. Like, she could have
yeah.
obviously every English player could have been better,
Oh, yeah.
but like. I don't think, like, I can't pin, like, zero in on her and say that she was the problem. Um,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I feel like this is a more, like, if we draw back a little bit more, this is a more like systemic problem. Like, look at all of these players: Williamson, Greenwood, Bronze, Walsh, James, Hemp, Mead, Russo. They're all players that are used to playing in attacking systems. They're used to
yeah,
playing high possession, high line football. That's their strength. These players, and so if you're putting out this 11, this particular 11, with Williamson and Greenwood in the back line as your main two center backs, you have to
yeah,
take advantage of the fact that you're ball playing all the way back till your center backs. Instead
yeah,
of, you can't, you can't take a tiger and make an elephant out of them, like you
yeah, yeah,
uh, like, to set up defensively with this 11 is criminal, and
yeah,
I feel like systemically, just the way that Weigman plays and the teams that she selects to play like that are totally disjunct from each other. Like, if you
mm,
really want to play that way, if you like, I'm not saying it's bad to play like that. There are, like, lots of managers playing like that, and she has obviously won the previous Euros playing like this. But there are players in your bench who play a similar system. Grace Clinton plays for Skinner, Ella Toone plays for Skinner. There are players who are fast, like Chloe Kelly,
yeah,
like who can, sort of play in a counter-attacking system better than somebody who's, like Lauren James can play the system as well because she's physical. She has the physicality for it. So
right,
the 11 that you set up, then Agameyang would have been a better forward than Russo in this system. Russo could have been behind
right,
her, so there's a lot. Even Aggie Beaver Jones, I think, would have offered more of a spirit in this sort of system than
yeah,
the front line that they currently had. Like,
yeah.
you have to play to the strengths of your players, is what I mean.
Hmm. But that's really interesting because, like, Wiegman is not somebody who plays defensive football. Like, I
Yeah,
think she usually does play attacking football, but I think in this match, just the amount of turnovers that happened in the midfield, right, just made the game super transitional. For
yeah,
me, in terms of the starting 11, I think England naturally have an issue because their fullbacks, they just don't have enough left backs. Like Carter is a centre back predominantly. She's not a fullback. And Neve Charles is there, but she is again like not naturally a fullback. And you don't have a left-footed left back there. So those are some of the issues, and clearly, like France targeted those things, which yeah, I mean credit to them, I suppose. But yeah, I mean I agree with you. I think Clinton should have come on. I see the thing with Wiegman is she sticks to a starting 11 pretty much. Like I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see any change at all. Going into the next match. And to some extent, I feel like that's also okay because, like Netherlands play differently. They do not play like the kind of fast transitional football that France tend to play because
yeah.
France have a lot of play pace in like Cascarino, in Katoto, right? Or even when Diani, if she comes off
Danny
the bench.
comes on, yeah.
Uh, so I think like I mean it's not panic central for England for sure, but I also don't see Weigman making any changes. But I would like to see some better in-game management in like making like smart substitutions and like being
Yeah,
a bit proactive with the substitutions as well. Like I mean, it was very weird. Like I was watching the match and I was like, wait, what are you doing? Like why isn't Clinton on the pitch yet? Like they've literally
yeah,
been bumping you off the ball throughout. And I also maybe slightly questioned um, starting Lauren James
yeah,
because, like, I mean, I'm somebody who firmly believes that she is better starting a game than coming off the bench, like, just in terms of how she is body language wise, etc. Like, she's not that impact sub usually, in my opinion. But, clearly there is some kind of a match sharpness, match fitness issue with LJ there. So, yeah, I don't know.
I mean, to be fair, I think she was the first 15 minutes. She was the best player on that pitch. Like,
Yeah.
So I can understand the like the this like to start her, like I can understand the like desire, whatever, what is it called, um
The
like
faith.
the yeah,
Yeah.
like I can understand why she was like she deserved to start over a lot of the other people who were playing. I thought
Yeah.
that she was very good for, like, she was the best player for England for me in the first 15 minutes. But yeah, you're right, there is a fitness issue there as well. She did, like, run out of steam somewhere along that first half.
Yeah. Okay, so that I think is enough France England talk.
Yeah.
Unless you have any other thoughts, Ash.
We didn't really talk much about France,
Oh
but
yeah.
uh, I would like to say that uh, like Almeida, there was this particular run that she made like halfway across the pitch. I was just the control that she had with the ball, the way that she was running, the balance, the like perspective in terms of who you're passing to, etc.
Mhm.
Everything was just perfect. Like I was in awe for like a good 2 minutes.
Yeah, I think De Almeida is like one of those players who can have like a really great game or can have like an absolute howler. There is
Yeah.
really no in between. Like it's like a six on foot mob or like an 8.5. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, extremely good player, and I think, I mean, honestly, I think her preferred position is that of centre back. So I think she plays there for PSG. So the fact that she's playing out of position and still doing so well
Yeah.
is like absolute credit to her. Yeah, I mean, I think France are a force to be reckoned with. I think, I mean, it would be interesting to see what will happen when they come up against a maybe slightly better midfield. um, like, because I mean, let's be real, England's midfield on the day just did not turn up. Like nobody turned up,
Yeah.
but the midfield in
Yeah. Yeah.
particular made it all worse. So I
Yeah.
am
Yeah.
curious to see how they perform when they come up against like a slightly better midfield, because I did not feel like France's midfield had a spectacular day. I think
Yeah.
they were better than England, and that was enough.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, moving on, I think. Do you wanna? So I didn't manage to catch this game. I saw some of the highlights. Germany to Poland nil. Obviously, we expected Poland to lose, but what did you make of Germany?
Yeah, Germany, I felt like they were not as good as expected them to be. Like
Yeah,
for
yeah,
example, in the first half, like a lot of the attack went through Clara Bull, and I don't think Bull had the best game.
yeah,
But on the other side, obviously, Jule had a great game, especially her second half performance was incredible. Poland, on the other hand, I honestly felt like they came out firing. Like I
yeah,
think they had a chance pretty early on in the game, and yeah, I mean, it honestly, like, it was just a professional performance from Germany. Like they had
yeah,
it under control. There was like one or two occasions in the 90 minutes where, you know, you can say like Poland had a real chance, if that
yeah,
makes sense. And yeah, I mean, Eula Brand obviously, like, a star in the making. I would say Leon have just signed her, as Leon does, sign everybody good.
yeah, yeah,
And yeah, excited to see some fun performances. I mean, those wingers, man. Like, the thing with France and as well as Germany are just the wingers and how good they
yeah,
are.
yeah,
Like, for me, like, I personally don't like Cascarino all that much. Like, she's like a bit of a pace merchant.
yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah.
uh, but still, you always have that option of starting Diani, for example, who
Yeah,
has the pace and like,
I was hoping Diani would start, but like to be
mm,
fair, Diani when she came on didn't really offer that much uh,
mm,
different. So I think it was fine, like Cascarino's selection.
yeah, I think, yeah, that's like a like for like, like option that you have in them. I think with Bool and Brand, I think they're just so good in terms of like their ability to dribble, their ability to cross on the ball. They're very like, confident in taking players on, and both of them
Yeah.
can finish well. And of course, Schuler, who I think has a very good chance at winning the Golden Boot.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it was a fun game, a nice glimpse into what Germany can do, but they've
Yeah.
not reached that level of fluidity yet, I would say.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, they better get there soon. In the quarters, they might be playing England or Netherlands. So,
Yeah.
um, anyway, I feel like we have to talk about Spain, but I also feel like, is there anything to talk about? Like, does beating Portugal uh, by these many goals, beating Portugal 5-0, does it tell us anything about Spain at all that we didn't already know? Like, because like everyone expects you to beat Portugal, and Spain are currently the best team in the world. Mm,
Yeah.
like, uh, is there a point to having that discussion?
I mean, not entirely, because I think Portugal have conceded so many goals in the last 4 5 matches. Like, they got beat by Belgium by a big margin in the Nations League. Same with England as well in that home fixture. So they have been pretty leaky when it comes to goals. But also like in terms of mentally where they were there, because Jessica Silva did post on Instagram after the game saying how shook they were by Diogo Jota's passing, because
Yeah,
obviously like that's like something that kind of shocked everybody, right? Like,
yeah,
and as players who have interacted with him, their manager coached him at the youth level, the women's team manager. So like there's a relationship there, and you could see that kind of um, yeah, mentally maybe they were not there. One could argue that. And also it was nice to see the Spanish fans and like Portuguese fans standing behind their team despite getting pretty thrashed by Spain. So I mean, it's just a very weird game to analyze, but overall
yeah,
I don't think you can take a lot away from it, except for the fact that maybe like seeing young players, like you think Spain, okay, they have like all these amazing players, and then you see like somebody like Vicky Lopez,
yeah.
who's, I don't know, like 18 years old, getting like a major tournament start and then
It's
scoring a goal.
it's
Um,
frightening, Kai. It's just frightening.
yeah, it is that factory that they have out there. And I mean, what can you say? It is what it is. But yeah, I mean, Spain, I would definitely say, I mean, nothing's changed, right? Like, Spain are the favorites going into this game. Yeah, the other thing is, of course, like Bon Mati coming onto the pitch, um, which for me was like, okay, interesting.
Yeah,
I think they're just trying to make a statement that, hey, our girl is good to go, sort of a thing.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Uh, was it needed? I don't know. But they did it anyway. They were like 4-0 up. So, um, anyway, but yeah, that was Spain are definitely favorites. There's no doubt about it. All right, let's talk a bit about Switzerland and Norway, right? Like, Ash, we live streamed this game. This was our first game that we went live for. Obviously, we did not want to acknowledge any game before the actual opening ceremony. uh, but anyway, so Ash, what did you think about that game and like the general vibes there?
I mean, I to be fair, I spent most of the second half feeling sorry for Switzerland.
Hmm.
Like, I know I shouldn't. Norway, like, when you have the match winners that Norway does, and you have players like Hegerberg, it's even inevitable that quality wins out in the end. And Norway are slowly proving that in this tournament, that they can play badly and still scam a result just by playing 15 or 20 minutes of good football.
Hmm.
Uh, and kudos to them. Like, a win is a win. I was really impressed with how organized Switzerland were. I thought that every player kind of knew what was expected of them.
Yeah.
Unlike Norway, they had all of the, like, they knew exactly what their plan was. They knew how to progress the ball. They were not getting bogged down by the press. They were not making any silly mistakes. Second half they did make a few, but like at least in the first half they made no mistakes passing out from the back.
Yeah.
I was very impressed with their wing backs, especially Reeson, Benny as well, but Reeson for sure. I was very very impressed. But in fact, I was impressed by like that whole like left hand side for Switzerland, Reeson, Valoto, and Jameli. I don't know if that's how you say it,
Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah.
and
Something like
like
that.
that left hand side assisted by Walty, I think it was really working, and really like
Hmm.
Walty was linking up well with both sides, like both Roytala
Yeah.
and Jameli. Like I thought, like Walty had a great game. I thought that. Uh, Reason had a great game. I think that these, like, they had these little triangles going Switzerland, and
Hmm.
always the mark of a really well drilled team. I don't know where they
Yeah.
found the time to drill themselves, considering it's international football, but they managed to
Yeah.
do it well.
Yeah. I completely agree. For me, Roy Teller has been like the standout player.
Yeah,
Like in this first group stage, like first match day, like she's somebody who just she's just so confident on the ball. It was
yeah,
very very impressive. I'm
yeah,
excited to see what else she does. I mean, honestly, like now I think Switzerland stands second in that group as we recorded because they've played their second match. Um, so I mean, it's always fun when the home team gets through to the knockouts, right? It's their first major tournament, and I feel like they have. I mean, honestly, between Finland and Switzerland, I'm okay with either of those teams qualifying because we've seen
yeah,
some good football from both teams.
yeah.
But as a quick word on Norway, anything surprising there?
I mean, nothing surprising per se. I think Fiskerstrand as a goalkeeper had a decent game. I will say this. There were one or two saves that she made that were quite good. Uh, Graham Hansen, obviously, she has been coming in clutch for them. When you have the quality of someone like Graham Hansen and Hegerberg, yeah, it's just inevitably you're going to one is going to assist and the other is going to score. It's just going to happen.
Yeah,
So it's just one of those things. I was disappointed by how poorly they were organized, especially in the first half. But
yeah,
maybe that, and so I was wondering whether they were making Switzerland look better than they were, simply because
hmm,
they were just like losing the ball, passing out
yeah,
badly, like falling to the Swiss press all the time. It was just one of those games where you're not sure if
uh,
Norway is playing badly or whether Switzerland's playing well. But
yeah,
they got the win. A win's a win, and they're on the top of their group, like as expected. So
yeah,
what else can you ask of them?
yeah. That's what you need. Like you don't want to go there and face pain in your first knockout game, you know.
Yeah,
That's not
exactly.
going to work out well for you. But yeah, I think Norway, I mean, I think like Engen was a bit isolated. She
Yeah,
couldn't make the right passes. I don't think Risa, and I was just so stumped by that weird formation of Graham Hansen playing in the midfield. She's a good winger.
yeah,
She's shown she can like create magic from that right hand side. Like, why are you putting her in the middle? Like, it makes no sense to me. I think in yesterday's match they switched that out. I think Graham Hansen was playing out wide, and she scores. Norway maybe played like slightly better than they did in their first game, but that disjointedness in that team is just, I don't know if it is like you know, a player management issue, or if it is a setting up issue. Like, you know, when in teams when you have like big names, sometimes it's hard to manage
yeah.
those players. I don't know if it's one of those instances because that team is stacked. But yeah, I mean, uh, looks like Norway will progress to the knockouts, top of the group, and that second, the jury's out on that second place in Group A. All right, the other game that Ash, you wanted to give a quick shout out to Italy's Gugliemo. Tell us about her.
Yeah, so Italy. Italy versus Belgium was kind of a damn squib. Like it was very boring. Like at the first half was kind of interesting, but then Italy scored in the 44th minute. Caruso scored in the 44th minute. But I would like to draw attention to Gugliemo, who was the assist maker. I think that she absolutely unplayable. Good off the ball, good on the ball. Cannot give her high enough praise. Uh, Great work ethic, great in terms of like just being everywhere all at once. I thought that she was the best player far and away on both sides. So definitely just a small shout out to her for a great performance.
Yeah. All right. I think that wraps up our groups match day one review. Let's have a look at WAFCON, shall we, Ash?
Yeah.
All right.
So should I just go through all of the games and give all of the results first, and then
Yeah,
we can
yeah.
talk about
We can do
anything that we
that.
want to.
Can we just say one
So
thing?
yeah,
The fact that Footmob does not have WAFCON like information is absolutely criminal. It's
yeah.
like a continental cup. Like you got to
Yeah.
do better there. I'm sorry, you just have to do better.
Yeah, L foot mob, especially because the Euros have stuff like stats and XG and all sorts of like,
XG.
yeah, like all sorts of like cool gizmo things happening with the Euros, and you can't even give us the women's AFCON. That's just ridiculous. And like CAF TV as well, just televise the matches on YouTube. Like, it's not that hard, put a camera, stick a camera there, even if you give us like half and half of a bad camera, at least it's something. We at least know what's happening in the game, you know?
Yeah. So Ash and I are trying to figure out where we can watch WAFCON properly and not just the highlights. So
Yeah.
please bear with us while we figure out. Uh,
Yeah. Also, stick it in the comments if you guys know of like any even if it's like a source that's not trustworthy. Just put it in the
mm,
comments. At least it'll help us out to find a place to watch it.
yep.
Anyway, results. Morocco versus Zambia ended 2-2. Gerardi scored in the 12th minute on a penalty. Chebak scored in the 87th minute for Morocco. Morocco are the runners up from last tournament, and they're hosting this year's tournament. So hopefully that helps them, progress and do well. But they were up against another set of favorites in Zambia. Barbara Banda scored in the first minute. BBC Footballer of the Year. Check out our video on her. Kundananji scored the 27th minute. The next game was Senegal versus the Democratic Republic of Congo, which ended 4-0 to Senegal. Perhaps no surprises there either. Mama Diop scored in the 55th, scored in the fifth minute and in the 22nd minute with a brace, and then DIA scored another brace in the 13th minute and the 40th minute. Then Nigeria versus Tunisia ended 3-0 to Nigeria. Again, no surprises there. Oshuala scored in the fourth minute. Baba Jide scored in the 45th plus first minute. And then Ihiuzo scored in the 84th minute. I apologize if I'm butchering these names. Um, Algeria versus Botswana was 1-0 to Algeria. Karshwani scored in the 10th minute. There are two more fixtures left in matchday one: South Africa versus Ghana and Mali versus Tanzania.
Yeah, looks
Oh my
like
God.
eh, yeah. I mean, I'm honestly very excited by this tournament. Obviously, like some of the teams that I've watched at Morocco, Zambia, a bit of Nigeria, a bit of South Africa. So and Zambia as well because they obviously did I already say Zambia? I'm not sure. Anyway,
Yeah, you did.
so people like teams that like come into like say the World Cup. I don't want to say major tournaments because WAFCON is a major tournament, even though Fort Mob does not acknowledge it. Um, yeah, excited to see some of the other teams. I mean, yeah, hopefully we'll actually get to watch it. Okay, so that brings us to the end of this episode where we did a quick roundup of Euros and WAFCON. guys, keep your eyes out. Our schedule is a bit all over the place, but we will be going live for a bunch of matches, and we will try and do as many match day reviews as possible, given our schedule, etc. Yeah, we will catch you all soon. See you on the other side. Bye.